Snow Cone Mini One Shot. I really love looking back at the earlier chapters and seeing everyone's comments. My favorites are from the Eri Catches Izwocha. Now there's nothing wrong with having a crush. It happens every day, all the time. They're just crushes, so there's nothing to be worried about. In Ochako's case, that's a different story. She is dekusexual. Class had just started with Aizawa reviewing some stuff for a upcoming test. Ochako listened careful to every word and wrote them down to use for later. But a little bit and she turned her head so she could get a good look at Izuku as she wrote, and she wrote him in her book with very accurate details. By the time she realized what she was doing, it was too late to write down any more notes as Aizawa had moved on. Darn it, Ochako thought tearing the drawing out of her book but keeping it anyway. Later, Ochako. Mina was telling the girls a story and she took notice that Ochako was staring off, not listening to a word that she was saying. She tried getting her attention but she didn't respond. Asui shook her a bit, snapping her out of it. Is that all you have to say for yourself? You weren't listening to a word I said and instead you were staring at something. But I don't know what. Mina squinted her eyes at her, getting sus. She was looking at Midoriya again. Jiro spoke up from her phone looking at her list of songs. And no, I wasn't. Ochako tried denying the facts and nobody believed her. Ochako and Midori sitting in a tree. Kissing. Mina and Toru started to chat, making her blush a bit more. Be more mature, you two. Ochako appreciated Momo sticking up for her, even though Momo knew she was helplessly in love. But soon it seemed like Ochako had more than just a crush on the broccoli boy. Hey Ochako, why is your top drawer filled with only green underwear and bras? Asui asked, looking through her drawer for some clothes to borrow. Well, green is my favorite color, Ochako nervously spoke. Asui felt a bit uncomfortable from this and didn't take anything. Uraraka. Dinner is ready. Iida called for her as she was in the other room. As she sat down with the rest of the students, she looked at her plate and stared at it. What's up with you, Uraraka? Iida asked, seeing her stare at her plate. And nothing. Ochako picked up her fork and began to eat. After most people finished and left, Ochako was just finishing. This was really good, Iida. Ochako thanked him for the meal. But you didn't even touch your broccoli, Iida pointed out. I guess I'm just full as all. She gave out a nervous laugh and slipped away immediately. One of the few people left was Momo, who took notice of this. And that wasn't even the creepiest part. Jiro was walking through the hallway to get Ochako for a girls' night in her room when she heard something that she didn't need to hear. Oh Deku. Deku, you're so amazing. Ochako could be heard on the other side of the door to her room moaning loudly. Story continues below. Jiro blushed at this as she started to get ideas and she needed to know what was going on. She went up to the door and opened it slightly enough for her to look inside without being noticed. What she saw horrified her. Ochako had a huge body pillow of Izuku. And she was practicing with it for making out. Deku, you're such a good kisser, Ochako said before kissing the pillow once again. Jiro closed the door before she could see it escalate any further. She quickly made it back to her room where the other girls saw her face was bright red and full of uncomfortableness. Jiro, what happened? Momo asked, sitting on the floor with her legs crossed. Ochako. S. Her crush is getting out of hand. I just saw her making out with a body pillow of Midoriya. Quote. Jiro explained, sitting on a chair. She told me her favorite color is green. And she had a drawer full of green underwear and bras. Ribbit. Quote. Asui shuddered at the thought. And she refused to eat broccoli. I swear when we first got here she didn't have a problem with it. Quote. Momo explained. I think the best thing we could do is get her to confess so that she can calm down, Mina suggested. There's no way that she could confess her crush to his face, Toru reminded her of Ochako's shyness and denial. Maybe she doesn't have to, Mina said while rubbing her chin. The next day. Where are we going? Quote. Ochako asked, being dragged by Mina outside. Almost there. Okay, we are here. Mina stopped and went behind Ochako, taking off her blindfold, revealing all the other girls were there. What is this? Ochako asked, looking at everyone. This is just a small convention. Mina went over and leaned on a tree. For what? Quote. Ochako asked. About your crush on Midoriya, Asui informed her, making her turn a light red. See, crush. I don't have a crush on anyone. She denied the facts once again. Yeah, more like a obsession. Jiro angrily corrected her. We are kinda worried, Ochako. The underwear, the broccoli, and the body pillow. Jiro angrily yelled. She was probably the most traumatized. Why, you saw that? Ochako was now full on red, like when Bakugo doesn't get his way red. And we're worried that this crush is getting out of hand. We think it would be best if you told him, and hopefully you will chill out at least a little, Asui explained to her, placing a hand on her shoulder. Quote. I can't do that. I'm way too shy and I'd probably run from him. Quote. Ochako already felt like running just talking about it. Well, seeing as how you just admitted that you have a crush on him. Come on out. Quote. Toru called from behind the tree. And from the said tree, Izuku appeared, red in the face. Deku. Her own facing getting more red as she realized that Izuku heard everything. Hey, was all he could manage to say. Kirishima was also there as well, with him, making sure he didn't run away. He was man enough to stay and listen, but he has his own obsession with you, Uraraka. He's so much of a man that he wrote down all kinds of things about you in his book, like your likes, dislikes, and a bunch of other stuff, he explained, making Izuku and Ochako even embarrassed. Our work here is done. Let's leave these two alone, Mina suggested, to which everyone agreed on. They left the two alone to sort it out. So you really do write about me? Ochako asked him, wanting confirmation. Why, yeah. And you have a body pillow. Of me? Izuku asked. Why, yeah, I'm sorry. I guess that's pretty way. Izuku took her hand into his. Well, how about now you have the real thing? He suggested, to which she smiled at the next person who went into Ochako's room saw worse than just her making out with a body pillow. You can probably already tell, but I'm running out of ideas, so suggest some, please.